Yo!
Yay!
Yo! I missed you.
We're here again.
Yeah.
I missed this.
Welcome back. Yeah, me too. Been a
It's
minute.
been a while.
Welcome back to Trials and Tribulations. We are getting close to the end of this game, and therefore this trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And last time,
I'm talking to her.
These couple of streams we got coming up, the last ones, we're gonna see so many last things happen in the entire Ace Attorney series. I don't want to. I don't want to get too into it before. I'll get into it when we're looking at the credits. How about that?
Oh no.
Yeah.
so yeah, last time, Maya's apparently trapped back here, behind all these locks. There's,
The scroll shows a picture of Misty Faye, master of the Karain channeling technique. But why would anyone cover it in gravy?
This has been
Why?
defaced with gravy.
Oh,
I can't make out what's drawn on this scroll at all. I'll never understand you Americans and your so-called artists.
artists. Yeah.
And speaking of, we just determined that the victim, Alistunam, is actually Misty Faye.
Which is kind of a bombshell.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is, and it's
also-
super a bummer.
Yeah, that's a big bummer.
She's been alive all this time. She could have
As
seen her
soon
daughter.
as we meet her, as soon as we get reunited, she dies without us even knowing who she is.
Yeah.
Big
this
F,
door.
my dudes.
I think I hate this door. When I was here earlier, there was only one lock, but now there's 5 of them.
I have to find so much evidence.
Those chains. It's almost as if they're guarding something inside that cavern.
Clues. I guess we didn't really know if she was alive. She's been missing for
Yeah,
like 13 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the game kind of implied that she might be alive, but we never had like the confirmation that
Yeah,
she was
like-
definitely alive.
Yeah, she was like, she's been gone for 20 years. Where? Well, she's declared a
Where
victim
could she
in like
be?
a couple of
She
months.
dead? She could be alive. She could be wherever.
She was alive.
you know-
Yeah, she's dead.
She was alive, and now she's dead.
Surprise, you're not an orphan. Well, you are now, but you weren't.
That doesn't make me feel better.
You weren't for like most of your life when you had no mom nearby.
I've never seen locks quite like these before.
I have. I've seen locks and chains just like these before. They look just like the ones that guard a person's secret during a psych lock. I wonder if these locks are guarding something too. Dark secrets in a dark cavern.
Maya, if you come up to the gate, we'll slide some burgers through the thing.
Maya!
Maybe like set up
Oh.
a space heater.
Maya! I'm
So-
sad.
Burger.
Yeah. It's an antique dresser.
Don't you
Look, we did
dare
this.
open it, Phoenix Wright.
Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her not to touch things. Haven't we read all these things?
I think we read
this
specifically.
is this is not new.
All right.
yeah.
Thanks, Francisca.
Yeah, Francisco.
So, actual little fun fact:
Mm-mm.
when chronologically or Chronicles released, the Ace Attorney Twitter said celebrating a lunch of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles with a traditional English lunch with an obvious Japanese lunch, and then eat your fish and chips for your nose, okay? So,
I'm sorry, I didn't follow that at all.
Yeah, that kind of got lost. Slow down, buddy.
the Ace
The
Attorney Twitter
Twitter
said,
made a "eat your burgers" Apollo joke, basically.
yeah,
But it was
with
fish and
obvious
chips.
Japanese food.
Fish and chips
Yes.
because UK.
Yeah,
I'm finally
but the
getting to the
picture
bottom
is
of
of
this.
obvious Japanese.
Yeah.
Getting to the bottom of this case. I can count on Iris to break those locks, so I should try to gather more clues. From Sister Bikini, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Pearls. Let's go see if we can find them.
Traditional English lunch.
Look at it; it's beautiful.
Yes, fish and chips is to UK what burger and fries is to
Yeah.
the US.
Yeah.
Slide?
Slide to the left.
Slide right.
The cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's got to be a tough job. Ah! especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time.
How could I have done that?
Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth?
Ah!
Hey, buddy. Hey, don't you dare run away! Don't run away from me!
What do you want, right?
What do I want?
If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it.
Come
Go
on,
on,
man, you know me better than
laugh
that by now.
away. Ha ha ha.
I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. Aw, Phoenix was
Hug?
going for the hug. That's nice. Yeah, come here, buddy. Come here. You went back to the criminal affairs department, right, buddy? There. It's okay. You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris.
Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. Let's talk it out.
That can't be good.
Where's
You
cross
guys are putting a lot
applesauce?
of
Don't talk
effort.
to me.
Yeah. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh?
There's a high chance this is the actual scene of the crime. That's why.
You mean because of the writing in blood and the talisman in the snow?
Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted here after the murder.
But surely you don't suspect.
I do suspect, and don't call me Shirley.
Maya? don't suspect Maya. Don't do that.
Oh, her. Oh. We have to treat everyone as a suspect. Maya as well as Iris. That's our job, right? I mean, like, the writing should not weigh in on who the suspect is, but the fact that Maya was on this side of the bridge would make her a suspect.
Yeah.
So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes, huh?
No, though thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath.
17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school. Yes, Jay?
What is it?
How can he fly?
What?
How can he be in an airplane? Because that's tremors. It's a lot of the flight.
How come airplane-
There's a much less turbulent than an earthquake.
Yeah,
There's a
but-
difference,
A
I
lot
think. I think
less.
it's probably mental.
How can it be an
Like,
earthquake
you know
if
you're
there's
in
no
an airplane,
Earth?
so there's going to be turbulence.
Yeah. Edgeworth found himself
They
in
ain't
the
in
middle of
space.
a
They're on
murder.
the Earth. Yeah.
How come an airplane fast but feels slow?
Oh.
Edgeworth found
Yeah.
himself in the middle of a murder.
Yeah, you can't be afraid of an earthquake on a plane because there's no Earth nearby.
It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse.
Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was a defense attorney, as you know. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. The DL6 incident. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself.
Why are they recapping this right now? It's been more than 17 years now.
That is the case where Misty Faye was disgraced.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. She was
Okay,
involved
that
in
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah. And that case was finally resolved 2 years ago, right?
I feel like they're
by
recapping it more
you.
for the player to remember than to give
Yeah.
exposition.
Yes, Phoenix. You solved the case 2 years ago. Don't gloat about it.
Well, no.
You think I don't know that? I was there.
We are too. We remember.
Good picture descripting.
It was such a shock. Never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, right? There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake. Not after you saved me.
Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay?
Say it out loud and then kiss. There was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. No. Wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in court before.
So you went back to the criminal affairs department to look for her file. Phoenix, tell him why. It's not. It shouldn't be a secret, really.
Yeah. Too easy.
Yes, I checked over every case file I've ever worked on, and I was right. No, I'm right. I had seen her face before 6 years ago.
6 years ago?
It was my first appearance in court. As cases go, it was my worst nightmare.
So who is she?
I'm sorry, right? I can't give that information away to a member of the general public.
Now we're both guilty. What? Why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case.
The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. They had nothing to do with Iris and the Hazakura Temple. And neither did the case.
But the case happened here, though.
No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder.
Is she now?
Unrelated. I'm now remembering that at the end of last stream, we had this like, oh, there was 2 of you, but I can't prove it sort of thing, and we just kind of had to drop it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I can say that with complete confidence.
You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. I need to fill Edgeworth in. Yeah, seriously. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew.
Do we need to present it?
Here's a picture of the girl we were just talking about.
Look at this blind girl.
Probably her profile.
It's fine.
Get that piece of filth out of my face!
Still mad, huh, Edgeworth? You
Big mad.
You mad.
Have you
I
met
know a thing or two about Larry Butts, just like you. We both know he likes to act up, but this, even he couldn't make something like this up. If this is what he drew, then this is what he saw. As unbelievable as it may seem.
I know. That's what I think too.
Every goddamn single time I see that guy, he's an end up to his neck!
I knew it. Edgeworth's still mad as a hornet at Larry. I am.
Piece of shit.
Picture
I
of
find it
Iris.
funny, but I'm also a little mad.
Iris's picture. What do you think about this, Edgeworth?
Sorry, right? You're a defense attorney, and I'm just a prosecutor. Standing at your door.
Holding up a boombox, playing music.
Wait, no, it would be. Bum, bum, ba, da, 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 da. It wouldn't be right for us to discuss things so intimately.
Oh, Edgeworth. But you were acting for the defense in the trial today.
God, you could cut the tension with a knife between these two.
Picture of Iris.
Sure?
Her profile.
Yes. Apparently, Iris was taken in by the sisters here at the temple when she was a child. However, we still don't know much about her past, so we're looking into it.
That reminds me. Edgeworth went back to the criminal affairs department to look up some stuff on her. I should ask him about what he's found. Are you kidding me, Nick? Nick, are you serious? Is there now something more to talk about in the oh?
Another victim we know nothing about. Same as always. Hope you'll tell me if you know something about our mystery woman, right?
I know that Elise Nim was no ordinary visitor to the temple, but her true identity could be a useful weapon for the defense. But, and I can't give that away just like that. But he's not the prosecutor!
He might tell.
Do we know that?
Yes, Godot's here. What do you mean? Okay.
But what if something happens to Godot?
Wouldn't that be terrible?
Wouldn't it, Franziska? Wouldn't that be terrible?
Oh, it would be the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
Fuck you, Godot. I don't like you anymore.
Did you put an echo on that guitar?
He did.
Yeah.
He's had that for a while.
Yeah. I've been waiting for my chance to throw on the faraway guitar.
February.
Maybe Gumshoe will be hanging about.
It's weird that there's no one around all of a sudden. It sure gets quiet up here in the mountains when you're all on your own. Speaking of alone, I guess I should go check out the shack just down this path. Maybe I'll find Larry there sulking again.
Do we have to? Alright.
The birds say yes.
Don't worry about it, Wander. There's someone else to lift your spirits.
Ah!
Oh, it's a Nick.
Pearl!
Pearl! Pearls, what are you doing here? Please don't run away again.
Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright?
What? Yeah, but we don't know yet.
Oh, I see.
God damn it.
Hey! What do you think you're doing here, Nick?
Larry.
This is a loser shack where the losers get to live loose themselves.
Close enough.
This is the no.
Hey! We fight comfort each other's failures, okay? You got a problem with that?
A little bit.
Why?
Look, Mr. Nick, Mr. Maurice did a picture of me.
Pearl, I don't want you
I
to
bet.
spend time with this man, okay?
That's great, Pearls. I bet it looks good.
We're gonna go gather firewood now. We'll be cooking up some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire. Stay out of her way!
I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man?
No one believes a word that I say that you would. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll let you down.
Talking about Nick or himself?
Oh, Mystic Maya.
He was talking about Nick, but Pearl's just like, no, shut up. I'm sad.
Hey.
Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture?
I got nothing to say to you, Nick.
Why?
My life's here now with Pearl. Two losers cooking potatoes together forevermore. Sweet potato, sweet potato, sweet potato,
sweet potato.
Oh, sorry, it's sweet potatoes.
Sweet potato.
What am I
They're
gonna
not
do with
sweet.
him?
You're right. They're bitter potatoes, just like my life.
Christ. All right then, what do you think about this picture, Pearls?
Crawling in my potato.
I think it's really well drawn. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing.
See, someone appreciates it. It's so tough getting the flames to look like that, you know.
It's supposed to be Sister Iris flying through the air, isn't it? I love it! It's like a dream, a wonderful fantasy.
No, it wasn't a dream. She really flew, I'm telling you. Iris really flew that night.
But, Mr. Maurice?
Please don't look at me. I am Boyle.
She's the flying nun.
Boyle. Don't look at me like I'm some kind of nutcase.
I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw.
Okay, so I was half asleep when I was there last night.
Oh, that's right. Nick did go to art school.
But he never shows
Oh,
off his
that's
art
right.
talent.
Yeah.
But I was wide awake after the lightning struck.
Was he in art school or art history? Because I feel like art history is kind of like media shorthand for useless degree. No, like no offense to any art history majors out there. No, seriously, like no offense. Like I've noticed it pops up occasionally in like media, especially like comedy shows and stuff, where it's like, oh, I think the example I can think of is Dr. Zoidberg from Futurama. His doctorate is not in medicine; it's in art history, and that's why he's a doctor.
Granted, I said I took that class, but it was art animation history.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's fun.
And I saw what I saw. It was exactly like I drew in the picture.
Upside down, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
But the game hasn't said that yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
And it looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value.
Hey! What are they looking down in your face?
Oh, nothing.
Tell me right now.
Pearls,
Yes, Mr. Nick?
I've been meaning to ask you about the night of the Moira.
There's been a Moira?
Where were you and what exactly were you doing when it all happened?
I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know? I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing. Does it, Nick?
Sorry, Pearls, but yes, it does. On the night of the murder,
Moira.
you were supposed to be in Miss Donim's room reading a book together. But Miss Donim was murdered and you, Pearls, were at the inner temper.
Inner temper.
I'm contagious.
Yeah.
Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls?
Are you ready?
Please give us some
No.
testimony to clear things up.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick.
Damn
Don't you
it,
dare!
Pearls.
Don't you do it!
No!
No!
Come
There's
on!
so many! There's so many! Oh, I see. She's too short, so if they had put them normally, it would have covered her face.
That's
I
so
thought it was
funny.
6 at first. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they just moved the middle one up so that it wouldn't cover her.
I've been a bad girl.
I'm gonna need you to not say that when Larry is nearby.
That's why I'm being punished.
What are you talking about, Pearls?
My spiritual power. It has disappeared.
What? What? Her powers have disappeared? That sucks. What do you mean your powers disappeared, Pearls?
It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint. Like Larry.
Pearls, did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at Hazakura Temple? Tried and failed, perhaps?
Ah.
Now run.
Where'd it go, Nick? You made it cry!
Shut up, Larry!
That was like really cruel of you!
Just as I thought, I'm gonna have to break her psych blocks to get the truth out of her.
Alright, let's at least see what the first
Two
question
crying
is.
babies.
Take that, throws it at Pearl's face.
Bounces over at Larry.
Go, Mia Chunk, I choose you!
After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Ellie Stonem's room reading a book together, correct?
Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't.
You didn't go?
No, there was someone else I had to go to instead. I was so worried I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous.
I like
Yes,
what
sir?
Hula says, but I think his theory where she tried to channel Valley Hawthorne, maybe I've actually been she tried to channel Maya's mom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like,
You tried to channel Misty Faye.
Misty Faye.
before she was murdered.
Quite dead yet.
Yeah.
So, Pearls never went to Miss Stonem's room.
Almost dead. Not the same as all the way dead.
Because she was too worried about something or someone else.
Almost, that means it wasn't already dead.
Pearls. On the night of the
Merry
murder, you went to
Christmas.
this place, didn't you? Well, this seems pretty obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clearly
She
was
wanted
in
Hasakura Temple.
we found her in the inner temple.
You went here, didn't you, Pearls? Is that not right? Looks like she's still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? Then the next question is who or what oh, I see. Were you so worried about? Now I'm going to take a guess, and you can just tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay?
You mean you know?
If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth?
Maybe.
You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this.
Maya?
Either
that makes
Maya
sense.
or Elise.
Maya.
I guess
Gotta
Maya.
be. It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it?
Ah,
You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous.
Yeah, she was pretty upset about that.
After all, it was the special course.
I signed up for your special course.
Good to see you even in a flashback.
Yeah.
well, my, quite brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become the one with those you channel.
So, just checking in with this one, they were aware that this cave could probably collapse with any small tremor, and this place is known for its tremor, and they sent her there.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right,
That
cool.
sounds right to me.
Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you?
Maybe. Thinking about what could have happened to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the Inner Temple.
Then we're clear now that you went to the Inner Temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the Inner Temple?
It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to go there before it started. But there was so much snow I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock.
Until after 10? How did you know what time it was?
Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out.
Did you hear the lights out though? The Hazakura Temple bell's pretty small though, isn't it?
It's
You must
so
have
loud.
You must have really good hearing.
I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all.
I forget she's super.
I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible.
That would be terrible.
She was trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pearls. Why were you so worried about hearing that bell?
Huh? Oh,
I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this. Now I'm not sure. Is that something that happened at 10?
What happened at 10?
Well, the
Is that when the
murder
dark
happened.
spirits come out?
Was that when the training was supposed to start? But why would that be?
Oh man, do we not have this?
Could
Do
you
you want me to check?
Knowing if we have the stuff or not is probably important.
Just a yes or no, yeah.
Let me just scroll down a little bit until I get to it.
Yeah, I agree, Clue. I really like Pearl as a character.
I
Yeah, me too.
don't think we can.
Okay. Let's look for some more clues.
I don't think I have enough evidence yet. I'll be back, Pearl, but maybe follow me anyway because I don't want you hanging out with this degenerate.
Why?
What does that mean?
We're losers together.
Well, Larry, a degenerate is.
No, I know what that means, Nick. Also, I kind of want to rewatch Spear of Justice to rewatch
Yes.
the reaction to everyone reacted to Pearl showing up, and I was like, well, who and the what? And now
Yeah,
that's the reaction.
Yeah, well, I also remember that because it was the first Ace Attorney game we played, I went way hard into Phoenix's voice. I think he sounded like Kaito at the time.
Yeah,
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if so. Anybody who's watching the YouTube playlist is going to be like, "Wow, he was really all for this role this time around." I wonder if Sister Bikini is back at the main hall yet. I haven't seen Gumshoe around for a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea together somewhere. Oh, that's cute. I bet Gumshoe is Sister Bikini's type. Oh, well. Oh boy.
You're just gonna say that, aren't you? Oh no.
Don't worry.
So what Kana is her mouth making right?
Good question. Well, what's the damage? How is the secret cavern?
Oh, that's new, I think. It looks like it survived, but we have a bigger problem now.
Oh.
Well, New would actually be 2 characters.
Yeah, yeah. I told Sister Bikini all about it.
Luna takes the dope. She stabs it. She stabs the dope.
About the 5 locks that were stopping us from getting.
But who? Who would have done that? The only people who know how to set up those trick locks are those with the Korean tradition.
I forget these things.
We have Iris at the Sacred Cavern trying her best to open them for us right now. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk with you about, Sister Bikini.
Oh yes, we were in the middle of a chat, weren't we?
Yes, you were telling me about how the Master of Karain disappeared 17 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I want to know why Misty Faye suddenly appeared at this temple.
It was about a week ago when Mystic Elise... No, I mean, Mystic Misty arrived. After she showed me the talisman that proved she was the master, she said... Someone is trying to destroy the Korean tradition's main family line. I'm here to put a stop to them.
Someone was trying to destroy the main family line.
Yeah, because with Mia gone, Maya's all that's left. Could maybe argue Pearls?
No, she's a part of the branch family.
Yeah.
She is a part of a branch family, but it was like the family that was elder, whatever.
She's the closest other than the main family.
Yeah.
Right.
There's only one heir to the title of master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. That child becomes the new master of Korean, and her daughter's the main family. All of the mediums become branch family members, with no hope of controlling the clan.
Okay, thank you for the explanation.
That's why nothing has changed throughout the history of the clan. Branch families always have, and always will, plot to erase those of the main family line.
Not Pearls.
Is the power of the Master worth this much bloodshed? To someone.
You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Rex? You know its power is real.
Yes, I do. It's been 2 years since I first met Maya. Are we really recapping this right now? In that time, I've seen her channel the spirits of the dead plenty of times.
Well, one particular spirit.
Plenty of times.
Has she only channeled Mia in? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
That we've seen at the very least.
She has only channeled Mia in this trilogy, I think, right?
Yeah. During the mask case and during Maggie Bird's trial too.
I was having that on hand in case you didn't.
Me too!
Thanks to Maya, Mia's always on hand to help me out when I need her the most. Be prepared for. I'm pretty sure that they reference him like at least once a game too.
The Korean technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know? I mean, the ability to commune with the dead. That's a true psychic power, you know? Members of the tradition have always been there behind every important leader. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill?
I suppose so, but with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you'd be really rich by now.
Are you saying we're poor, Mr. Right? Oh, you're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake.
A mistake?
Oh, no, here we
mistake?
go.
DL6.
It was 17 years ago!
CP9. Sorry. One Piece joke.
Sorry. That's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident.
That instant. Is she talking about what I think she's talking about?
No, she couldn't be.
I'm sure the record still exists if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 incident.
The DS.
That's the name of the file.
Would that name really be like widespread though? Like, would the public know it by that name? I don't know.
Don't think
DL
so.
I doubt it, but we obviously know what it is.
Yeah, the DL6 incident. I knew it. I knew it.
Go, Miss Snow!
Goma, shut up.
DL6 incident. I just read it. The CBT incident.
No, don't say it on stream!
That's fine. Wonder? Okay. I know, well. I handled a related case just 2 years ago.
That's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney at that case.
A murder that took place 17 years ago.
This is important recap, so I get why they're recapping this specifically at least. It was the first time in the country's history the police ever used a spirit medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer.
And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Faye, Maya's mother.
Through Mystic Misty's channeling, the name of a certain man surfaced. Armed with that evidence, the investigators were spurred into action.
But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he?
On an insanity plea.
That's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. For 15 years! In other words, we failed.
But it's not that Mystic Misty messed up, it's that Edgeworth's father's ghost lied to protect her son on the his son on the stand.
And even if he had done that, he still would have been wrong because didn't he think that Edgeworth did it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because Edgeworth threw the gun.
Edgeworth's father thought that Edgeworth did it. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Gregory.
But we figured all that out many years after it happened, so obviously
it was just fun
damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was the first case we'll ever seen the current tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media, the public, the judiciary, the people of the Karain village. Everyone judged her. Everyone said Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared. Vanished while everyone thought of her as a fraud.
But I know the truth. Misty Faye's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all.
Of course it wasn't. And since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. What's that?
Oh, that's good.
The current tradition is starting to recover at last. But with a new master building the power of the clan.
Does she mean Maya?
Feud.
The spiritual power of the Karain channeling technique is in the blood.
Maya's told me the exact same thing before.
We, the women of the Fae clan, have always been spirit mediums. It's because the power to communicate with spirits flows strongly through us.
According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit that power.
The main family's bloodline stems directly from Mystic Ami. But with each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master.
And the ones who don't become branch families, right?
That's right. And that's always the cause of tragedy.
You know, Maya had a sister too, an older sister named Mia.
Oh yes, I heard of her.
What? You know about Mia?
Of course. She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And lost her life as a result.
Do you know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said that it wasn't only because of her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition.
Aw, really?
Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt.
That's right, Misty Faye had an older sister too.
She's dead now. Killed her.
And Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the master's seat from her.
Misty's sisters, Mystic Morgan, as you probably know.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, yes.
Morgan?
Morgan. Well, there is a name I know well.
Morgan Le Fay.
It was a year ago now at Maya's home, Korean Village.
Oh.
What she did
The
was
hair.
terrible. It was all so she could make her own daughter the next master.
Big hair.
Big hair lady.
I suppose you know Mystic Morgan's daughter. Then you must already realize that Iris.
Huh? What? Hey,
What?
Iris? Huh? What's Iris got to do with any of this?
That Iris is Mystic Morgan's daughter.
Excuse me?
What?
Excuse me? Pearls has a sister?
You're telling me that Iris
Pearls'
is
sister?
Maya's cousin? What?
What is it with Nick and Faye girls?
Iris is what? Is she kidding me? Iris is
Wonder-
Morgan Faye's daughter?
Wander, I think Nick has an iron deficiency.
What are you talking about?
That took me a second.
I'm still working on it.
Faye is
Faye in
fairies
that
and
context-
fairies. And they don't like iron.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
I thought
Yeah.
you meant as in Ferris or Ferrum, the Latin, which means iron.
Oh!
Only reason
Two.
why I remember that is because Fairy is weak to steel in Pokemon.
Yeah!
Oh, is that why?
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna help me remember that. That's good. Did you
Yes.
just say that Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter?
And they're strong against dragon because dragons get killed in fairy tales.
Yeah.
Oops, I thought you already
That's
knew.
just Grunty. Oh.
It sounds like you'd met one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already.
I have. I know her very well.
Oh?
Yes, Pearls. Pearl Faye. But I always thought she was an only child.
You just said she's Mystic Morgan's?
What?
I had no idea.
Oh. If we had just communicated a little better when we first met, maybe some things could have been avoided here.
Well, do you really talk about family ties the first time you meet someone?
Well, the last name, I don't know, could have been brought up.
Mystic Morgan. But she's in prison now, isn't she?
Oh, she's alive.
Death row.
Yes.
Oh.
Ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator in a murder case last year.
Oh,
I
right,
think
she
the fact that she didn't actually kill anyone, so
Oh,
maybe
right.
that's why she's still around.
I guess.
Looting.
It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master.
Because,
You don't see.
because like, what's her face? The one who actually did it, right?
You don't see two talk sprites on the screen at the same time very often.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
that's rare, at least now.
Yeah.
I see. So I've been wrong this time. All this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2.
Excuse me?
I think
wait,
other daughters I should know about.
Excuse me, you're gonna have to elaborate on that one.
Yes, Iris, her twin sister, and Mystic Pearl.
Oh my god. It just
Okay.
like
I mean, I
feel
knew
like,
I knew she had a twin, but like
yeah, like at the end of the last one, where it's like, oh, maybe she has a twin, but like, just goddamn.
Wait a minute. Shouldn't there
Yeah.
be 4? What about Valerie?
Maybe Valerie wasn't actually related to them. Yeah,
is,
you're
is
right.
the name Dahlia Hawthorne like a legitimate real name?
Well, it can't be now because Faye, right?
Dahlia Faye.
Well, okay, so we
Right.
had Valerie Hawthorne. We have Dahlia
'Cause-
Hawthorne, who is
Yeah.
playing
Go-
the part as Iris Faye, part time.
Maybe
Go,
Maybe
Gomez, you're right.
adopted.
the queen of casual bombshells. So from what I understand, Iris and Dahlia were twins, and Dahlia was raised by a random jeweler who had another daughter named Valerie.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking is that Dahlia was probably adopted by the Hawthorns for some reason. Let's find out.
Sister Bikini be like, oh, you didn't have all this plot? I thought you had all this plot.
Oh, you didn't know? It all happened 20 years ago.
Yeah, that really is her vibe.
After the class leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled.
You know, 3 sisters, just like Morgan and Misty's little sister. You know her, right?
It wasn't many years later that Corinne's reputation took a hit to an all-time low. When Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master, he was a piece of shit and left her at the village, taking her twin daughters with him.
Oh, is he?
Oh.
Okay.
Is he the jeweler?
Maybe.
I mean, who else could it be?
That makes sense. How awful.
A jeweler?
Do you remember how?
He was a jeweler, you know?
Yeah. Mr. Hawthorne.
Yeah. So Jay, remember how the last trial that we did, Dahlia got away with the ransom, which was a $2 million diamond?
Yes.
That was given to her from the parents. So that's who we're talking about now.
He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up to be looked after by us here at the temple. That was Iris, you see.
It's unbelievable. If Iris has a twin sister,
Well, had.
could it be? Could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini?
I could tell you many more things.
She just keeps going. Nick's just cradling his head like, what? What was the name of Iris's sister?
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. That's the one thing I can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler.
Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler.
You read this case, Phoenix!
Thank you very much. Yeah,
You just reread this
You
case.
should know.
You've helped clear up a lot of details. Pearl's had 2 older sisters, huh?
Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mystic Morgan's anger towards the main family. I see the chat saying it, and I was just contemplating spoiling other games that we played with Bikini, but
Anger.
I won't.
What do you mean?
Sorry, I just so sneezed a comment. And of course, I'm sure you know that Morgan later remarried a man called Larry Butts.
No.
You didn't know who her mastermind was?
No wonder she's so angry.
Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband.
Didn't you know that Hina was the mastermind?
But even that could destroy her dreams of that child of hers would one day lead to climb.
But she escaped and found a new profession as a photographer.
What?
Don't worry about it.
That's why she had pearls, huh?
It seems that the incident here was the result of Mystic Morgan's anger.
Wait, did she just say that the twins are Pearl's half-sisters?
Yeah, yes.
So
Didn't
Morgan...
she just say that Morgan remarried and then had Pearl?
Oh,
Okay.
is that the... Oh, okay, which explains why Pearl doesn't know anything about them. Okay.
Okay. Like, well, I'm gonna make myself an heir if it's the last thing I do.
It was able to break free from the bars that confine her.
So Iris has a twin sister. The plot thickens.
Who could it be?
But this information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit.
Edgeworth!
I need to ask more questions to get some more info. Why Edgeworth?
Get some answers.
No.
This
So,
person was
is that
completely
my
unrelated.
record?
Iris.
Yep, it's
Yeah!
Older
Oh, hey,
sister,
Morgan.
Mystic Fae, mother of Pearl and Iris, is in solitary confinement. Oh, they were
Age
in
question.
solitary?
I'm in
I
love
was
with her.
thinking just life. Alright, Morgan Bay's daughter and Iris' twin sister. Her father deals in
Do you
jewelry,
think-
apparently.
Do you think that we can break Iris's Cyclops now?
At least the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, stop in here. Why not?
Probably talk to
Gumshoe.
Edgeworth, too.
Oh, sounds like someone's happy. What tune is that they're humming? Yeah, it's Gumshoe. It's got.
No more of no crime. No more of no crime. Sing it with me. No more of no crime. I remember when we used to search in the channeling room in Karain. Oh, I love my job. Who cares if the clues I find are no good? That's not what investigating's all about. It's about finding
It's
the
Kudos theme.
Yes.
Yeah.
The investigator investigates for the love and investigate. It's a passion. Good cases we have, good cases we've lost along the way.
I would have never guessed that Gumshoe was into Reiki.
Is
That was
what I
reggae,
do?
apparently. Oh, this is reggae, apparently. I just got it! No motive, no crime.
Oh.
It's Bob Marley.
Ah.
I've never heard a single Bob Marley song
Jay?
in my life. Yes.
Read this.
Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight.
Okay, you have
I'm
not
doing
really
my
listened to
best.
him.
I
You have
am
not
doing
listened
my
to him,
best.
I
It's gonna
guess.
be
It's gonna be airtight.
I mean, I hope it is.
Gonna be
Okay.
airtight.
If that's the reference, it should have been every little case. Every
Yeah.
single case is gonna be airtight or something.
Yeah. You almost had it, localization team.
Oh, I love that he's just randomly singing Bob Marley.
Oh, hey, pal.
Oh, me? Huh?
Also, this guy would be a great Tevya.
Oh, how long you been standing there?
Just got here. Didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
So what are you up to, detective?
I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Edgeworth. I promised I would find the real Moida weapon.
The real Moida weapon.
Moida. That Bob sword thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving it my best shot here, but I'm still haven't turned up any clues. I just found these weird scraps of paper. It looks like a letter or something.
Oh my god.
It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though.
Can
so
we
I'm gonna
see it?
throw it away.
Can you let me look at that right now?
I'm gonna just throw it away, though. You don't.
No.
need it. I can
Throw it
never
away
find
into.
anything useful.
I'll find the trash can for you. Thank you.
It's gonna
Throw it
dig a
away
hole
into my case
somewhere
file.
here.
No,
Yeah, you don't-
Gumshoe, please.
Hey, Gumshoe, there's an incinerator over the bridge.
No,
Over the bridge.
Bro, stop! So how's the investigation going, Detective Gumshoe?
I don't know if I should be telling you, pal, but I guess it can't hurt. Looks like the Moida took place in the inner temple garden. And they're taking that bloody writing on the lantern pretty seriously back at HQ.
What? You mean...
Oh, how? I don't have the details, pal. All I know is, if you don't find Maya down in the secret cave, we're gonna be faced with one ugly situation.
Situation? What kind of ugly situation are we looking at here?
Yeah, you got me, I don't know. They're not my words, pal.
Then who said it?
Mr. Godot.
Godot? What do you mean by that?
Godot.
Alright, show me this letter.
Godot.
About that letter you found. Go, give.
Don't remind me, pal. I'm busting a gut here trying to find the murder weapon. And all I find is some boined up paper.
Be careful. Once night should be there. As soon as you hear the
Oh, we give that to Pearl.
lights out bell, you must
As
channel.
soon as you hear the bell.
Lights. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty important.
That's pretty important.
Is
A
it
couple letter. It had to be Manfred von Karma.
Yeah, it was in that incinerator right over inside the inner tank.
God, of course it was the damn incinerator.
It was in the incinerator. Oh, there was something in there. I knew it. I knew I wasn't imagining it. There was snow on the incinerator when I first saw it. So wait, could we not have found Gumshoe without investigating that first? But after the incident, the snow had melted away, which means someone used the incinerator on the night of the murder.
It's a good thing we checked that first.
What's up with you, pal? I got it right here if you want to take a look.
Can I do you mind?
I mean, sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit medium masters and stuff. I bet it's got no relation to the case whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm sure it's completely unrelated.
Not a single thing.
Spirit mediums. It's gotta be important if it mentions spirit mediums and masters. I better give it a good looking over and some serious thought.
Oh, make sure you chuck it in the trash when you're done. Littering's a crime, pal.
I'll put you away for good if you do a litter.
Okay. So what do you know about the real murder weapon so far?
Well, if it wasn't the Shishishito that was found in the impaled on the victim's body, Mr. Edgeworth proved that in court today.
Yes, that's true.
In which case, it must have been another blade.
And that's what you're running around like a headless chicken looking for now, huh?
Typo in the game. Typo in the game.
Actually, I think that one was just another awkward sentence.
Yeah, and man is a tiring work. But let me tell you something,
I
pal.
think it was definitely supposed to be. That's why you're running around. That's
No,
what.
and that's what you're running around looking for, I think is what it said.
Oh, okay, fine.
I'm no chicken. I've got the feather of forensics in our cap these days. We're using the department's secret weapon on this.
Is it missile?
Secret weapon.
Is it your old metal detector?
Missile?
What's a secret weapon of yours?
You wanna know? You gotta think scientifically, okay?
Is it Emma?
Alright.
The mortar weapon was a sword. Swords are scientifically speaking made of metal.
It's the metal detector from the first game.
Any questions so far?
Is it a metal detector? I know what he's gonna say, but I'll let him look smart.
So what's the perfect tool for the job? Ta-da! A metal detector.
Raise your hand if you didn't see this coming from a mile away.
No one's hands up.
That's weird.
Well, you're gonna give scientific investigation a go.
Huh? Me?
You're gonna give us the
me?
metal detector?
Give.
I've been using this thing for hours now. It gets pretty boring after a while. Why don't you give it a try?
No. Should I help Detective Gumshoe out or not? Well, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Obviously.
Come on, pal. It's good fun. I'm telling you.
All right, then. I guess I'll give it a go.
Like I said, it's the department's most advanced gadget. Absolutely the best. It's so sensitive, it could make you cry. It's so high tech, it could it could skydive off it.
Is it high?
High tech.
Oh, bother.
Oh.
Oh, bother.
So, I'm gonna tell you how to use it, pal. It's possible the real murder weapon is around here somewheres, right?
We get gameplay?
Sure, that's what we're trying to find out.
Right. So, voice, let's turn the detector on. That's the sound of the metal detector signal doing something, but then next...
Listen
It moved on its own.
Full sound of sound.
It's
Now
going
okay.
automatically. I'm not touching anything.
Maybe let you hit something with a metallic sound as we all beeping. When that happens, press the A button and give it a good hard stay off. This thing picks up metallic objects that are hidden from sight too. Take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious, okay, pal? Good luck.
Why?
The
Why was that tutorial on?
Step ladder.
Look, a ladder.
That's a step ladder.
We did it, everybody! We got there!
Nice.
Got him.
We are the champions.
What's the difference? It's like a normal ladder to me, pal.
Surely everyone knows the difference. I mean, they're pretty ordinary objects.
I met plenty of guys like you, always picking on the smallest details like a detective.
We've been waiting for so long for them to make a joke about that ladder.
The vegetable store guy near my place does it to me all the time. Potato, tomato, come on, man. Oh, he even corrects me when I ask him for a head of lettuce. That's a cabbage, he says. I'm telling you that they're the exact same thing. Cabbage.
No, they're not.
Cabbage soup, lettuce,
No.
soup, lettuce,
No.
soup, lettuce.
Incorrect. They're completely different.
Are they? I thought they were the same thing. No, I thought they were the same thing. Are they not?
Hmm.
Oh, I see. You have to plant both of them firmly in the ground before they can grow, don't you? That makes them the same as a carrot. Listen, you gotta take a step back and look at the bigger picture sometimes. Otherwise, you could miss a really important clue. That's advice from a pro, pal. Tell me how that letter turns out.
The last person I need advice from is this guy in front of me.
Oh.
I feel like we really went all in on that joke, Gumshoe. It doesn't look like there's anything here.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
pal, all you gotta do is watch the detector and let it tell you where to look, okay?
Typo
Okay.
in pal. Paul.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Paul.
Oh, weird.
All right. I'm not exactly a whiz at machinery, you know?
Oh.
Oh?
That's odd. This sled's made of plastic.
It says bikini number 1 on the side.
Maybe there's something under it. Hey, what's this? What's this? A badge?
Aha! I'm hunting high and low for that. In case any more bullets fly around.
It's yours, detective.
That thing's a priceless to a guy like me, pal. A cop can't be seen without his badge. I'm sure glad I put a dime in there now.
What?
Why would I need to put a dime in?
But
Isn't
your
the badge already
badge.
metal?
Wouldn't it be
How did you
more,
manage to drop your badge here of all places?
I know. I bet it happened this morning. I was playing around with the sled.
Love you, Gumshoe.
Stop right there. I don't need to hear anymore. Just
That
don't.
tells me everything I need to know. Oh.
This looks like a wallet.
Is this yours too?
That's where it's been.
It's yours too, detective.
I'm always dropping it, so I put a bail on it.
But you still dropped it anyway.
Yeah, but now I found it again, pal.
Oh my god, your wallet is completely empty.
Well, I drop it all the time, so I don't put money in it anymore.
Oh, Gumshoe! Then how come the metal detector picked it up?
It's the bell.
It's the bell, yeah.
It must have been because of the bail, I guess.
Glad I could help.
God.
God, I love you, Gumshoe.
He's so
Never
great. love him.
change.
Wait,
Never
the thing
change.
at the bottom.
I don't
Is the
have
thing at the
cash in my
bottom left
wallet
metal?
anymore.
I want to talk about
The
this.
little circle? Oh.
Oh, that Shishishito next to the golden statue wasn't the real Moida weapon, pal.
Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd check it again anyway.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Do you know about that sword?
The sword.
It's supposed to represent the multiple branches of life that can take, all ending as one.
You
Which they don't really. They're kind of everywhere. They're like,
I know.
There,
I said.
there.
I know. I said the intro to the case. I heard something about that.
It's like the multiverse, pal.
You know what I think about sometimes? What kind of life would I live if I hadn't joined the homicide
I feel like we talked about this.
Uh-huh. Well, he talked about it with Edgeworth. You think about that kind of stuff, Detective?
Of course I do. I think about it a lot. Me as a traffic cop, me as a detention officer, me as the Blue Badger.
There's something to be said about the humor value of Gumshoe as the Blue Badge.
This guy gets it.
This is Mr. Nim's staff, isn't it?
Scientifically speaking, they are usually made of wood.
He's definitely been talking to Emma.
But the detector is reacting to it.
Yeah, but however you look at it, this thing's made of wood, right? I wouldn't bother investigating anything unless it looks like it might be metallic.
Isn't that the whole point of a metal detector? To find metal where you can't see it?
It's weird that this thing is causing a racket.
Here, let me take a look at it.
Hey, hands off. Examining evidence is a job for the,
The top's coming off!
Oh, look what you've done. You've damaged a really important piece of evidence. And
That's my
you pulled
fault.
a blade out of it.
Ah!
Oh
Oh,
my god.
Oh.
That Misty Faye was packing?
A sword?
Inside the staff.
Is this? Could it be?
for self-defense.
The Moida weapon.
Gumshoe, I think you done it.
I didn't get to look at the other things.
Oh my
Nope.
god.
Don't him.
Nah, you don't need to.
I'd never have guessed there'd be a staff concealed in the victim's staff.
Staff and the staff?
Concealed
Their
in the
dog.
staff.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
You said
Said
staff.
Sword concealed in the victim's staff. Damn it.
Well, they call this kind of thing a sword cane, pal.
Huh.
This one's a real gem, but it looks like a hell to hold.
Yeah.
The workmanship's really something else.
Remember, there's usually a big chunk of amethyst in there.
Yeah. Thank goodness this isn't a cane sword. Or the victim could have stabbed her own foot.
Ha.
I officially give up on trying to figure out how Gumshoe's mind works. If the real scene of the crime was in the inner temple garden, then why was the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? I mean, we can infer that it was the murder weapon. We don't have proof of that. Hey, Gumshoe,
Yeah, pal.
who knows about the hidden sword?
No one, even the police didn't know about this until they discovered it just now.
Well, as they say, there's no team in Gumshoe. It doesn't look like there are any traces of blood on it.
Well, then I guess this ain't the Moida weapon, eh?
No. I'm sure someone just wiped it off after the murder.
Yeah, of course, the thing's definitely the Moida weapon. Good job, pal.
It's about the same length as the Shichishito, too.
It is.
This must be the murder weapon.
Okay, I'm gonna run this over to forensics. There's gotta be some traces of blood left, even if most of it's been wiped off. And see you later, pal.
Bye, Gumshoe. Good luck.
Everything is gonna be
This is the incorrect music if you want us to think about Bob Marley.
Yes, it is.
Everything's gonna be airtight.
Hold it! Wait up, detective.
Yes. Ned, what is it, pal? I'm a pretty guy right now.
What
Yes.
a pretty guy.
You're very pretty. You're going to get that staff analyzed, right?
Yeah.
Would you mind holding off for just a while?
Why? What are you talking about, pal?
Please,
Well, but,
Just until we find Maya. Why does that matter?
but, Maya, what's this got to do with Hoyt?
I don't know, but I'm starting to get a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Oh, how so?
Look, Maya's trapped in a sacred cavern right now, and, well, we don't even know if she's okay or not. The more evidence and testimony I hear, the more uneasy I feel.
You don't think that Maya's gonna avoid it?
Please, detective, just wait until we can get inside the sacred cavern.
Ooh, you're looking kind of Viridian there. Okay, just stop with the face, pal.
I don't see why we want him to not bring us to forensics.
Oh, one thing though. This staff secret trick. Let's just keep it between you and me, alright?
Ito doesn't even know.
If it gets out that we knew about this and didn't say anything, we are finished.
I understand.
I am
I'm
out of my
following
flies at this point. This is just a regular run-of-the-mill staff. Got it? Okay, now take good care of it, pal.
Thank you, detective.
Don't worry. She'll be fine.
Gumshoe.
You know, there's a place at the base of this mountain that gets kind of pasta.
That's some pretty good.
How about I take you there when we find Maya, eh, pal?
She'd like that.
Sure, thanks. That sounds good. This place really gets pasta.
This place gets really, really pasta.
I can't help but wonder now.
now. It's an Italian place. There's like a little Italian place right on the corner, like basically right next door. They have really good big spaghetti.
Dude, I'm on my way. What was Elise Donim doing with a staff like this in the first place?
Okay. So I feel like we have Ooh,
I bet we can bring.
Yeah, let's go talk to Edgeworth first.
About the twin.
Yeah, because he might have one more piece of evidence for us.
God damn
Hey,
it.
Edward.
Oh! Never
Did you know
mind.
Iris had a twin?
What? A twin? You can't be serious.
Sister Bikini told me, but the problem is she didn't know the name of this twin.
There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked.
Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently her sister was raised by her father, a jeweler, I think.
A jeweler? Right. I just might know who this twin sister of hers is.
I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right?
The very same. Yes, exactly.
Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please. Oh.
We know more. It was my first court case 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died.
You're talking about Terry Falls, aren't you?
You know about that case?
And you're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago.
Yes. Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler, named J. Euler.
Hawthorne.
I guess that'd be Euler.
Joyla.
And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking.
Her sister?
Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood related.
There we go.
Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife.
Wow.
This is getting so complicated.
Okay, so the
Oh, we get another
Mr.
recap?
Hawthorne was divorced and had a daughter, or was possibly a widower. We're not sure. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife.
So okay. So Morgan's ex-husband became a jeweler and took
Morgan
Dahlia
and
with
Mr.
him.
Hawthorne get married. They have twins. They divorce. Mr. Hawthorne marries another woman who already had a daughter named Valerie.
I was the only daughter of Dahlia.
So she was divorced
Okay,
or
yeah.
a widow or something.
Okay.
So they were a mixed family.
I just gotta laugh a little bit because you guys say this is complicated. This is literally my family situation with how all these are related. This is literally how all of my family are related.
Oh yeah, this kind of thing happens all the time. But then Morgan
For a kid.
remarries and has Pearl.
Yes.
Guys, there's gotta be a family tree out there somewhere.
We've got it.
We're a regular Ferris jeweler around here.
Oh,
Is it now I just said that my fifth cousin is also my actual cousin?
Oh. Oh. And this is when she entered my life.
She.
The woman who tried to kill me. Mierda. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out?
Does it really matter? Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case. Smug face.
So- This is like the least fitting Edgeworth face ever.
Yeah.
Why are you so sure about that?
Oh, it's simple. Oh. I have a little secret. Oh.
Stop looking at me like that.
With those big old eyes.
It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead.
What?
Murder, death penalty.
Oh.
Ah.
Her metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak.
Ah.
Is
Dahlia's
that a joke?
What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth?
You were there for the trial where she was convicted of murder.
Yeah,
Nick?
but I just kind of thought that she'd exist elsewhere forever.
Murder doesn't equal the death penalty in 99% of cases.
I think it does here. They have a kind of a
Yeah,
draconian judicial system in this world.
I can fully confirm that there's not a 100% success rate on that.
Morgan is alive.
That
Who
also.
said so?
She was an accessory to murder.
Yes, but
She
even
didn't
without
commit
that,
the murder, but she did. She was an accomplice.
I have
Yeah,
my
she was
future
Nick.
knowledge.
Right? I must confess that in reading her file, I came to know of the murder case you were involved in during your college years.
And you didn't say anything?
Why didn't you say something?
Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey. Are there only like 5 lawyers in this entire country?
Mia Fey. Mia Fey.
Oh, she knew.
At the time, Dahlia. It's like she was possessed by a demon or something.
Did Dahlia know that she was a Fae?
Yeah, probably.
She said Faye!
So she knew that Mia was her own cousin.
One of the. Oh.
I guess so. She must have.
Also, she got her mother's eyes.
Yeah. Possessed by a demon or something.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said it.
Yeah, I know they were cousins. My question is, did Dahlia know at the time?
Probably.
I'm guessing probably.
I think she did. I think
Yeah.
that's why she had such that kind of reaction at the end of the first case.
It makes more sense for her to have known at the time than not. It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month.
Wow.
Who?
Executed?
Dahlia Hawthorne, she was executed.
But
I'm
then
sure that's-
how was there?
I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, right? For more reasons than one. But do you understand now? She can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead, and once someone is dead, there's no way to revive them. About that.
Please continue to drive the nails into this argument. It's not gonna go anywhere.
There's no way to revive the dead?
Oh no.
I wonder...
What?
It seems you're not aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth.
And what is that?
It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother.
What's their mother got to do with any of this?
She's Morgan Fay.
Oh shit.
A spirit medium from a branch family of the Crane channeling technique.
Did you say Crane channeling technique?
Yes.
Do you know something about it?
Yes, I do.
He very well should.
Grabs Phoenix by the lapel, lifts him off the ground, and shouts into his face, DL6 incident!
Yeah, but...
Oh yes, I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium.
No, fraudulent... No, we need to talk.
I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. Let me
I
tell you
swear,
about
I
it
know.
in great
No,
detail.
I'm
I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police
Baby,
didn't
I'm
have
sorry.
any leads.
I'm
They were
sorry, babe.
stumped. And that's when they called her in. She was a very
Please,
famous spirit
baby, I
medium
know.
and the master of the channeling school. But do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? Do you know? Have you ever heard this story? As a result of her efforts,
Edward, I
an
have
innocent
no
man was
idea
accused of murder. She and her powers, they were all fraudulent.
Father
Edward, baby, shut up for a second. Hang on.
Go to the police records room. It's all in there.
Earthquake.
No, we believe you. We know.
All you have to do is check the DL6 incident case file, and you'll know. I know this is all new information for you.
Of course, how could I forget? And Phoenix!
Granted, they're explaining this to people who didn't play the original game.
Why would you
my
play the
God.
third game in a series of
You
three?
say it to the one who played Spirit of Justice
my
first on the
God.
channel?
But you guys had knowledge of the series
Jay
beforehand.
didn't.
Jay didn't, but he was along for the ride.
Oh yeah, didn't Von
Edward.
Karma steal the DL6 file?
Edgeworth, you'll understand someday. I guess I won't tell you now, and then you'll see that the Crane channeling technique is real.
I'm in pain.
I'd like to think that maybe they got the files back from Von Karma when he was arrested.
Could that be a highlight? Could this entire thing just have been a highlight?
We got I guess
no.
we're gonna...
When we make this highlight, we need to include the first time they explain this incident
yes.
too,
Oh,
for
yes.
context.
I guess now we have to go back to the police station. Is that what's going
Can
on?
we go there? Because the
Can we
game
want-
wants you to go look at the DL6 incident files, apparently.
Sure does. Yep. Why are we sitting here? Wonder?
Yeah, okay, sorry, I missed that.
Okay.
So we should go talk to...
Did we get all the information from him?
Did we get all the info? Probably.
I mean, there's no more talk.
I can't
Has
remember.
that stopped
I can't
people?
breathe.
But how could the DL6 incident have anything to do with this case?
Oh, this would have helped.
Be careful.
Oh, there's more
there's
pages.
more pages.
There's more. Okay, let's read all of this then. Careful, once night falls, should be there. As soon as you hear the lights up, Belle must channel her spirit leader. Her name is... she is our Al. The whole... There was a picture of her. Use it when you channel her and they can do it. Oh. Once this is...
big space.
Burn the also make tell anyone about the letter. Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition.
The matter.
So they know who she was.
I think, yeah, so I have a bad feeling that this letter was sent to Pearl to channel Dahlia.
Didn't Pearl ask Elise about the word gravely?
And roast.
Oh no.
Well, detention
Right.
center.
Done again.
You want to know where you should go?
Do we
Can
have
we
all the
even-
stuff to do Iris's stuff?
Do you want an answer to that?
Yeah,
Yes or no?
can we talk to Iris or possibly Pearl? Maybe we should talk to Pearl first.
Yeah, I feel like
Dude.
Iris's thing is going to be the finale of this part of
Yeah,
investigation. So let's go
let's
to
talk
Pearl.
to Pearl.
Okay, can
Do
we
you
go-
want to know?
Nah, don't say it for now.
Got it.
Oh no. Oh.
Because you cut out when I was asking the first time, so I didn't hear if it was yes or no.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think you cut out when you asked.
Oh,
We're
it's
gonna talk to
February.
Pearl. All right, what's next?
I was expecting Larry and Pearl to be here.
What's under the pot?
I guess they must have gone to collect firewood. Why do you care so much about that?
There's
I
something under
suppose I'll
there.
have to check back later.
All right, I guess we're not talking to Pearls.
Okay, well, that's besides that.
Okay, I guess we'll talk to Iris.
Guess we'll talk to Iris.
Iris!
Hey,
Iris!
we have a lot to talk about. I guess this? Wanna
Yeah.
talk about anything else?
I mean, you could try presenting stuff to her.
I'll just throw this chunk at her face. Take that! Ow!
Some chunks, huh?
She only has 3.
I know I'm missing something here. Oh, I'll get there.
Didn't we read all this?
We read this first one because
You read a lot of this.
Yeah.
Jay, explain to me what you're confused on.
Oh,
You had the
yes.
big reaction about Pearl.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did Pearl do?
Okay, Pearl supposedly channeled Dahlia Hawthorne, who is now dead because she was executed.
Oh! Okay, you
Do
cut.
you
that's-
understand why this is a big deal?
That's stuck. Oh, I just thought the
Yeah,
whole thing was that she
so-
would actually get murdered.
There was a letter that Gumshoe found in the incinerator, which we're pretty sure was given to Pearls, and talks about channeling.
So the whole thing about the creature you're supposed to do was just to make her summon the dead girl?
I couldn't hear you.
Okay. Whatever.
So the whole thing about the training that they were gonna make her do was just the part of the plan to make her summon Dahlia. That was why Pearl was there for training.
No, Pearl being here and Misty Faye
Coming
being
here to
Wait,
train was
what?
Pearl's idea.
It was Pearl's idea.
Yep.
Oh no.
So you see, Iris. You were there at the inner
I'm actually
temple.
I think we've been through this.
I'm actually gonna reboot real quick because I'm hearing some cracking on my end, so I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, so
Okay.
But when you say you left the
Yeah.
main hall at 9:40 p.m., but that doesn't really add up. Say that you left the main hall at 9:40 p.m. But...
The bell?
Oh, with the bell.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty sure we figured this out too.
Yeah, she rang the bell.
Her own testimony.
I need to read something really quick.
No,
As soon as you hear the lights out bell, okay, that's why Pearl was listening for the bell.
You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? We probably read all this too.
Yep. Ring the bell at 10.
Do you want me to read it?
Oh yes, we did see this.
Okay.
You gave me this. Okay.
And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, You were
Oh
seeing
yeah,
it in 2 different
this
places at once?
was the question about being 2 seen in 2 different places at once.
You have a twin.
There were 2 of you.
Two of them.
Getting out of hand.
Imagine.
And one of them had a hood, and now it makes sense because Pearl has different colored hair.
Hmm.
Here we go.
But don't their hair change when they channel somebody?
No, the hair color does not change.
The hair color does not change.
Yeah.
That's been consistent because remember, Jay, back when Mia was alive, she had brown hair, but every time Maya's channeled her, she'd had black hair still.
Yeah,
I have
and I
never
think Pearl
noticed
has
that.
slightly lighter brown hair, and that always stays the same.
Also, I just realized something important, but I'm going to wait until after this section is done.
Okay.
Only one of me. It's impossible. Impossible. I wonder. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh.
They are seriously trying to suggest that there's 2 of me?
I am suggesting that. Why did you sound so evil when you said that?
Oh yes, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yeah.
I mean, she's dead, but
I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne. A woman I know only too well.
you, but Ginger.
Wander you.
I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright.
I kind of dated her, and then she tried to kill me. So yeah, I know of her.
That happens.
She's no longer.
Yeah, do you think?
Yes, I
Look
know.
around you, spirit mediums.
Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it?
But does she know that Phoenix knows? Anyways, I'm back.
Hey. Oop. I'm sorry.
Will you excuse me from just a minute?
Sure.
Okay. I want to
Okay,
theorize
I
on
just
that.
gotta mute myself.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
wait, good luck.
What's your theory, Jay? Because we're not muted, so.
So,
Uh-huh.
Larry saw something.
Jay, I also have
Upside
something
down.
to say, so please get it out quick.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. I'll pass on to you because I said that without actually having a theory. So please feel for me.
Okay. So, I think Pearl was supposed to channel Dahlia. However, Pearl said she failed. Pearl was not able to channel her.
You said that her powers should leave her, right? But then she also said that she did a bad thing. So what would she think that bad thing was? I kind of thought that she did the bad thing with Dahlia and then tried to channel somebody else afterward and then.
Well, okay, here's what I'm thinking. I
Mhm.
think Maya channeled Dahlia. Because Pearl wasn't able to channel Dahlia because Dahlia was already being channeled.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I take it that you mentioned Pearl said she tried to channel someone and failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did you unmute yourself?
Yes, I unmuted myself.
Well, we can't chat hear you. I'm just on.
Yes, chat can hear me, correct?
Chat, please confirm that you can hear Wander.
I want to know what Jay's theory was. I think it was
okay.
Larry.
Who said that?
All right.
Thank you.
There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? This second you who was here at the temple on the night of the murder, it was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne.
But you just said it yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that?
Have you forgotten this, Iris?
Oh no. I just realized something. If Maya is the one who channeled Dahlia, then it's Maya who fell off the bridge and that Larry saw. Which would mean that the inner temple is empty.
This is a channeling dojo, a training ground for the Crane channeling technique.
Down by the river.
That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me.
Ah!
You want to fight about it?
I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted at the inner temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister. Dahlia, the other half of me who passed away last month.
Just as I suspected. The iris that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because my sister always does the right thing.
Pardon?
Pardon?
And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do.
Okay.
I think you should.
I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again.
You betrayed her? What do you mean?
That's why I have to accept that I may be found guilty. It's the only way.
What is she talking about?
You know about it, don't you, Mr. White? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago? That was the start of it all. It's what started her down that twisted path. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her.
How did you betray her, Iris?
It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing.
What?
But I got scared, so I ran away.
What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father, that's awful!
But I promised that I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
It was revenge on our father.
Revenge? Oh, there it is, up there. What do you mean by revenge?
For leaving Morgan?
He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away and then sent her to hell.
Her mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fay.
Our mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place. For power. But his plan backfired. Because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the master of Karain.
That would be Misty Fay, Maya's mother.
But before long, the credibility of the Karain tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident.
Yes, we are aware.
Are you sure you are?
Are you aware of the DL6 incident? I mean, did you know about that incident?
Yes.
Our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and home behind.
Okay, so the father divorced Morgan after DL6.
He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive, and that he had no reason to stay there.
And that's when you came here to Hazakura Temple.
Yes. The woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see.
Oh.
And I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family. I've heard she's been very battered, spiritually and emotionally.
I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together. Okay.
I have asked her everything I can in my capacity as prosecutor.
So Morgan took a new husband and had pearls, and that man's name was Red White.
But I thought he was with Grossberg.
They're bitter exes.
Oh.
Or possibly
Long distance relationship.
But you were lovers, aren't you?
they had to keep it secret from Morgan.
This incident, everything related to it goes back to the history of the Fae clan.
That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me.
What is it?
During the incident in which your sister Dahlia Hawthorne poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student, have you heard anything about him?
Well, I did hear one thing. She said she hated his guts.
I see. Well, thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
Ah!
Hurry up, Phoenix Wright. There's still much to investigate. Leave these locks to me. I promise that, or I'll open them for you, I promise.
Thank you. I suppose I better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left to unlock. Coils,
Hi.
clock. Hey. Did those two disappear from the Heavenly Hall because they were actually going to look for firewood?
I think they disappeared so that we would know to talk to Iris first.
I'm talking about Larry.
Yes. But like, for gameplay reasons, that is what Wonder says.
They wanted us to talk to Iris before we went
I'm
and solved
too.
Pearl Cyclock.
The justification was to look for firewood or some potatoes.
Look at that.
Sweet potatoes.
They really did make a fire right in front of the shack.
Oh, sorry. Sweet potatoes.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
Ah, you're too late, Nick! If you came here for one of our potatoes, we've already polished them all off!
Weren't they rotten?
What? Did they say that?
They said
Half
rotten.
rotten.
They were half rotten. When you cook them, the rot away.
No. And also, half rotten doesn't mean it's not entirely rotten.
Yeah.
I wouldn't need them.
It wasn't Christmas. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearl's deciding. Pearl's,
Alright.
no level with you. I prefer normal potatoes to sweet potatoes.
How dare you?
It depends on the context.
They're both good, but sweet potatoes are the best.
Nah.
Take that back, Nick, or I'm gonna go swinging!
Now the crime. We already figured out this first one.
Yes.
Okay, can someone ban this mushroom?
Justice Grunty. Why must you betray me in this way?
Hey, remember that time that Sap said he doesn't like cheesecake and he was super wrong?
Worried about Maya?
Well, guess who can revoke those mod privileges, Mushroom?
Can't rank you.
Pearls, why do you want to hear the bell?
It's because of the note.
Now.
Yeah, the note.
Got it.
You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you, Poils? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper.
Where did you?
In the incinerator at the Inner Temple. Pearls. Pearls.
Yes.
Pearls. You were following the
Yes.
instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell.
I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing.
Oh.
These instructions that were found in the incinerator. I believe they were written for you, Pearls.
For me? No.
As you can see, a large portion of this has been burnt. And we are on record as Pearls not being able to read.
She's not good at reading. Or is she?
She knows how to read, but she's not great at it.
Katakana!
Or
But that last section is still fairly
she
legible.
asked Elise to read it, to like help her read it. And that's
Well-
how Elise found out about the plan.
Well,
Okay.
Elise was there before that.
No, I think we've already established that Pearl did not go to Elise's room, though, right?
It was a
You
good
may have
plan,
just having like,
Morgan.
okay, there are words here I don't know about, therefore I'm gonna ask them.
I don't know, maybe it was a good plan, but you forgot one thing. I never know how to read.
But the last section is still fairly readable. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit.
Oh.
Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Tell me, taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was...
Dahlia
This-
Hawthorne.
This bitch.
It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in this letter. It's just as I suspected.
Means you stop playing with that.
It wasn't Iris who Sister Bikini met at the Inner Temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I never heard of anyone by that name before reading these instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister.
Let's not break that to her.
About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow?
This bitch.
Pearls? I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you?
But
I don't know what that sound effect is.
Audible heart thumping, I guess? But you followed them to the letter regardless.
But
Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why!
How did you?
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay.
Oh.
What?
All right, Pearls, it's time you started telling me the truth.
Mr. Nick,
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Don't underestimate me. Just because I'm a child.
Huh?
You're trying to say that I follow these instructions. I'd like to see some proof.
What?
Because I don't think you have any.
She'd say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Foils. We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right, there's no evidence that proves it was you.
I knew it!
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
How do you know that?
It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that.
Simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
This is kind of a mean way to put this, Phoenix, but alright. I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you've been given. But you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. Boy, I wonder.
We'll check this. Check. Careful, this one should be there. These are burn, gravely roast the mess. Gravely.
Hey, remember when we talked about the curry and how that probably was local to gravy and it didn't make sense?
Yeah, okay.
It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
What? Why would I do something like that?
Curry the master's favor.
Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades, and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right?
How do you know that?
Remember the conversation you had with Miss Donim on the night of the murder?
Gee. Perhaps we can read some books together.
Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading.
Well then, would you like to practice reading with me?
Miss Elise? So, for example, how do you read this?
It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word.
Sure, Miss Donim taught you how to read gravely and roast, but what she didn't teach you is what they meant.
Gravely sound like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food.
And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from the night's pot roast.
Clueless, that destroyed my throat, though. To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing, and I couldn't even do it right.
Poor Poils.
Also, that means Pearl showed Misty the letter.
Did she though, or did she just like point at a word that looked similar?
I mean, I would assume that she had the letter with her.
In Japanese, the letter had that kanji in it, which means splendid, as in you put a splendid end to our head of house. Except that the kanji is read as kare, which Pearl misread as kare, which means curry. after dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple. With a pot full of the leftover gravy.
The gravy?
I was hungry. For Maya.
I saw the picture of the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the Master of Kurain, like it said in the letter.
I see. And then?
Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. So I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Let's see, so she's super fast, but she's slowed down by the cold. She's the Flash.
Ah.
No, not
Yes,
that one.
I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go to the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started, and I couldn't interrupt it. So I stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then,
Pearls, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it.
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep away for Iris, too. It happens.
Son Larry.
Then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple. Good of him to stay shut up during that entire psych block.
Yes, when I woke up, it was morning. I tried not to cry, but the scoop bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because they overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, then I heated up the leftover gravy, and
let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. What did you eat?
10 is way past the bedtime, so oh fuck, I forgot Larry was here.
It must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. I used to leave, or Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too.
Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry.
But
It was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
I never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it happened. I tried and tried and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time.
This morning?
But I just couldn't do it.
But don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come fly to the sky for you. Whoosh! Just like that.
So she never managed to channel the spirit.
Just ignoring him.
Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what it is, anyway?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
There it is.
Someone else? What do you mean?
Well, there's only one of each spirit, right?
Yep. It's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Then, Larry, you can leave. It's fine. Then that would mean that on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could.
Possibly locked themselves up in the inner temple and channeled her to keep her locked up, or tried to.
Someone else.
Bold words for someone who doesn't follow the bro code.
Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Her final wish?
Yes, this letter? This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it.
My mother had gone to a place called Penitentiary.
Yeah, I know, Pearls.
I visit her every month.
Oh.
And last month, she told me...
Well, Jay?
Remember?
Do you remember what voice you gave her?
I didn't even remember that this was Jay.
Don't. I didn't even remember this was me. Was this me?
You were Queen.
I was Queen. Right, Queen in Spear of Justice.
You voiced her kind of like this.
You voiced her like the queen.
I see. Oh, that time.
Yeah, that was
Was
it.
it not me?
That was perfect.
No,
It's not you,
this
Wonder.
I am 100% certain this was Jay.
correct.
Okay.
The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl.
Yep.
There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter out for you at our home before they brought me here. They let me bring my tea, though.
They've had this planned since before she was arrested?
Seriously?
If you want to read it, I want you to read it and do exactly as it says. It's for the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you what the letter is hidden.
My mother is always so nice to me. I love her very much.
Yeah, Mom's do anything for the kids, right?
She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I know I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya is part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her too.
Oh no, Pearl.
That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
I guess so, yeah.
Poor child.
Yeah! There was a picture with a letter too.
A picture?
Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually, a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh?
Like Larry knows anything about this stuff.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
That sure is pretty strange.
Thank you, Larry.
Someone had
Larry.
already? Sorry, it gets me every time. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother is watching over us. So I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Yeah, it's
Oh,
gotta
of
get out.
course.
Yeah.
Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realize how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is.
Godot.
The entrance of the sacred cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop.
I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort.
But it's all a waste of time.
Why do you say that?
Because Maya Fey isn't coming back.
What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that?
It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. You.
I realize that, but
This guy White Knights on the internet.
And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them.
I didn't know anything about what was going on.
Ah, what did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow. We'll settle everything in court tomorrow, once and for all.
Mr. Nick? Is what that man just said true?
It'll be all right, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
That's it. Oh.
My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time.
Fuck you.
Oh, the
To
goal
be
was
continued.
Fuck.
somehow they was the original goal to kill Maya.
I guess so.
I was like, I don't
Maya and
know
the
if
mom?
did they know that Misty was still around?
I don't know.
Well, they said the master and the note, right? And the master would have to be Maya.
Yeah.
No,
well,
Maya, Misty.
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't think they knew that Misty was still alive. So the master would have been Maya. Or at least she was the next in line to be master.
So she was Maya. Oh, okay.
and she was like, we were very close to the point where she would be confirmed as the master.
Yeah.
Well, good stream, everyone.
No. Sit down.
Thinking. Because
It's
Bikini
February.
had just found out about Misty still being alive, and I'm not sure. I don't think she would have told Iris. Probably would have kept that a secret.
February
did,
is
who
my
knows?
least favorite month to say out loud.
February.
February.
Bring the popcorns.
Oh, hang on.
Eat the
hang on.
Platforms.
Oh my god! I was waiting for a good chance.
Good morning.
February.
Yourself?
Morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Missing Maya.
I'm thinking if Dahlia realized that she was in Maya's body, so I was like, okay, you can kill Misty and then throw this body off of a cliff to kill it. And then we're done. Who knows? We'll find out, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. I can't say it.
So, is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick blocks from the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange.
If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby.
Oh no, it's me. We're looking for Iris. She's in the prosecutor's lobby.
Ed boy, what's Iris doing over there?
Head boy. She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak.
Today's testimony?
You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution.
Wait, but what?
The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard.
Francisco von Karma, what are you up to?
Gotta be Godot.
The corner has many doors, Edge boy.
I know what you're thinking. Your thoughts project into the room. It's quite annoying, actually. But Francisca is not going to be the prosecutor today.
Aww.
What? Then who is?
Who else would it be but Godot?
Godot.
Francisca is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
Believe me, I'd really rather read that trade.
Francis is gonna barge in at like a very important time during the trial with some evidence. I just know it.
Yeah.
The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the headman's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon.
Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth.
Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow.
You don't have to tell me that.
Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday.
Isn't
strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger.
Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold on to someone else. Literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands. Partner. Life partner.
Lover.
My love.
Maybe, okay, so I know maybe the time frame for this wouldn't have really worked. Couldn't they have sent, like, I don't know, a remote-controlled camera through the bars to go look for Maya in
Do you think this has modern technology?
Gumshoe literally said that the most advanced piece of technology the police department has is a metal detector.
Put it to the bars!
That's fair.
Why couldn't we have gotten that helicopter to bring us over the bridge before the bridge could be built? And why can't we take the locks off with like a a bolt cut? I don't know. I have a lot of questions. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Donim. No, I mean Misty Faye. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. February.
Happy February.
Who is it?
I think it's gonna be Wander today.
Yeah, I think it's Wander.
Okay. Take a little sippy sip of water. You ready for this? Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Your Honor, what are you...
Oh, it's not the Canadian judge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers early this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted.
Oh, wow.
Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. Can't end this trilogy on a different judge.
Yeah, I guess you got a point, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot.
My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here.
It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment.
Godot, opening statements were yesterday. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world: coffee. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
Okay, yeah, literally coffee.
In other words,
Basically.
coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. So then you mean, look at it. What do you mean?
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today she has just had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
Dang it. Confession? The defendant?
Iris. Why didn't she discuss this with me first?
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession.
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask her for her name and profession.
That's his pickup line.
That is one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is that something you would want to confess to?
Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright, what is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Dunim?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard, where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court, order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
Ooh, what? 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat.
Everyone on this planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite?
So this is the confession they were conferring about. Pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie.
Crumple up and shove into a pocket.
Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions?
Oh no. I'm gonna say Maya.
Iris was covering for someone? No, I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Karain tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Faye.
Well, there we
Could
go.
you not?
There it is.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite.
She's naming Maya!
Order! Order in the court! So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer?
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
Objection! That's ridiculous! Maya could never do such...
The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. Yeah, once per game now, Maya's been accused of murder, right?
It's tradition.
Tradition. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected. But I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. The real murderer.
Oh, God.
I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So it was in self-defense.
Yes, Mystic Elise is the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. I think the issue is the way she died.
Hold it. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple, but...
Did she know? Too bad for you what she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go?
I was in the inner temple's training hall.
A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay.
He is unfortunately correct. What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There. We all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor.
I would have loved it if, during this, the judge was like, I remember that girl, she was so sweet. This is stupid. You're saying that the victim attacked Miss Faye?
Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
It's perfectly understandable, my dear.
This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
Hold it. She moved in to deliver a fatal strike.
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Oh, can I ask that to be added to the testimony real quick? What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A knife.
A dagger, huh?
No!
And at least Nim tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Faye?
Yes, exactly.
Ha! You look like I did after mistakenly taking a swig of Worcester sauce.
I would like to hear that story, actually.
Worcester?
Yeah,
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire?
Worcester?
Secret
Is
sauce.
that how it's pronounced?
I believe it's Worcestershire, but I could be wrong.
Do you have a problem with the testimony of how I say Worcestershire?
Oh, we have British people in the chat. How is it pronounced?
There you go.
Dubby.
Dummy said Worcestershire.
I'm pretty
Worcestershire?
sure. Yeah, I'm
Is it
pretty
only
sure it's
3
Wor-
syllables? I thought it was 4. Lawyer boy.
Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? Yes, 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 yes.
Of course.
Your Honor. I mean, okay, so wait, is this a trap because we didn't have the evidence submitted? I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
Well, Godot shouldn't know that the staff had a sword in it. The only people who know about the staff sword are Nick and Gumshoe.
Yes.
Secret to everybody. Oh, you do? But this witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless.
That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement into the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, wait a moment. It's my job to say that. Oh.
Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now, let's continue.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Oh, hold it. She threw her staff away? Is that so?
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with the staff.
Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, it's odd, alright.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with the dagger. I'm sure of this.
Oh, you know. Should we bother pressing anything else?
I think we know where to present the
Go
staff
for the
at.
kill!
Hit him.
Sword.
Hit him where it hurts, right in the testimony. Objection. Sister Iris. There's something
Iris,
strange
no.
about your version of events.
Huh?
Miss Donim throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with a staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Donim really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she had already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Please don't question the validity of this evidence. Please, please, please.
You also
well,
said
Sister Iris.
You also said already twice.
That's fine. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
That was an impressive bit of investigation, Trite.
Like, oh, okay. They were concerned about buffering, but apparently I have 0 drop frames.
Yeah, I think it's just on their end.
Okay, I was just checking just to make sure.
Yeah.
I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in the staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy, and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat.
What?
Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over a blade.
No.
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose isn't what's important. The important thing is that you tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony.
But there's something strange about this whole testimony.
Yeah, Mother. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Wright?
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this evidence can't be trusted. Or testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Donim would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey.
Real name, okay, real name Misty Fey.
Take that. Elise Donim would never have attacked Maya Fey.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Donim. Her real name was Misty Fey.
Fey?
No! Not Mystic Misty Fey!
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to...
Misty Fey is the master of the Karain channeling technique. She's also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true? Mr. Wright, was Elise Donim actually the great Mystic Misty?
Yep. There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one that she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. I mean, maybe she was a terrible person. We don't know.
Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, 1, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and 2, that the 2 people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe.
Listen, there's nothing in this world that's impossible.
Though it's possible that you're full of shit.
I mean, if you're gonna prove my point that way, let's roll. Except for one little thing.
Yes? What is this one little impossible thing?
You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. My beans are heavenly.
Could you get to the point about Sapsis beans?
I heard this witness's confession this morning.
See, if we had made this character Saps, then we would have had to make Jay Von Karma, and I don't know.
I could have done it! Not good enough. Oh, just as I had
Just-
taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee.
How are you alive? You're going to ruin your health, my friend.
Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty.
What?
Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor, but do you not notice something else?
Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it.
Where'd you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene.
Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene?
Probably.
The pine
Did you do it?
tree.
No, did you do it? Pine tree? Very important.
Oh my god.
That is not a pine tree.
That's
No,
not
it
might
is
be.
not.
It is not the pine tree.
What pine tree? There's no
trees
pine
here.
tree in this picture.
This
Corporate
dagger
needs
was
you to
stuck
find
in
a pine tree.
Yeah. This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Yeah, Shosny. Hiding evidence so we can't see it in our fixed 2D view is unfair. Which means the blood on the dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee.
Huh?
So are you telling me that you've had at least 30 cups of coffee? Didn't you say that it was your 8th just a few minutes ago?
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice.
In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Now then, the testimony we've just heard has numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Cute girls never lie. Ever.
Yeah, I'm gonna shove that in your face later. Hey, remember literally anything? In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon.
Are you okay there?
I think I got a forced update.
Oh.
Why
Uh-oh.
threats?
Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but It had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
Refrain from conjecture, please. That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Oh, I'm gonna. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden's stone lantern.
Where were you?
I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so... I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck?
All dead. What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. I would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second.
Oh yeah, get some bullet time going.
The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. Then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet.
What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her?
All dead. You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly.
As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
Nobody says that. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified.
Jay, want to confirm?
Listen, if you have 2 leads and enough berries, anything is possible. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
That is excellent. You were the one who started it.
Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? Stab.
All dead. Are you absolutely certain that that's what you saw?
Yes, I'm almost certain.
Almost certain doesn't mean all the way certain.
Almost.
Means it wasn't Christmas.
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was an Elise Donim. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who?
I don't have anything to counter that yet.
Jay, I just realized you pronounced Donim correct.
This is a character that would do it. Cut me some slack.
You did it!
Also, do we know for sure that they were the only people? Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes.
Hold it. Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck in the pine tree in the garden.
Might be a pine
The guard
tree or
didn't know what he was talking about. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle, and awesomeness happened.
That is the most likely explanation, yes.
Yes.
After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch.
Menacingly.
It felt, for a moment, like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
Seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere.
So, wait. The knife was pulled out of her. So then where's the blood?
That whole area was cleaned up.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we want to point out.
Well, no, because that... Iris said that she cleaned up the air, all the blood.
Oh, oh, okay.
Look at her. It's not in the testimony, but she's not wearing a hood.
Well, I don't think the court has made the connection between Dahlia Hawthorne being...
No, but I'm just thinking should have been wearing a... Ah! Stabbed in the back.
Yeah,
okay.
That's it. With her back to the lantern. Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. That's clear. Object. What? The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor?
I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty.
What?
What do you mean?
Lies.
What do you mean? I must be on the wrong track?
Back to the stone lantern. Does she specifically say she was stabbed in the stomach?
Not in the testimony, but she did when we pressed.
Yeah.
I mean, if she has her back to the
I guess
stone
try
thing.
it here.
That's
Yeah.
silly. That's very silly.
That's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt is spreaded from your testimony.
Ah!
What? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift?
Yes, that's technically true.
Is that all you have to say?
Check my glossary. I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Objection, could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting and being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach.
There certainly are some inconsistencies.
Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing.
What do you mean?
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the uses of all senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said?
Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself.
The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly.
I'm pretty sure that that just said unambiguous or something like that. Good typo.
So, we should ignore all the parts of her testimony that are bad for your case. What you're saying?
Yes. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is Kingdom Hearts.
But
Hikari.
No.
Hi. By the way, did you know? Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is in the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit.
I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness
It
have been
wasn't
able
dark.
to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern.
Impossible.
It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Most enlightening.
Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why we humans are weak.
He just says that's why humans are weak, implying that he's not. Like, what the hell do you think you are?
Cyborg. Isn't that right, Trite?
You know,
I'm
the
an
org
expat,
part
thank you very
stands
much.
for something.
No!
Order, order, order!
Hors d'oeuvres. Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
Okay. Thanks. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face?
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame twat?
This lantern, there's something written on it. He can't
Eh?
see red.
Oh, Godot can't see red.
Why, it's written in blood.
Oh boy.
You thought
So
it
the-
wouldn't happen?
So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written in blood?
Well, when blood dries, it actually turns more into like a brown, more of a black.
Yeah.
So if that was dried blood, he'd be able to see.
It's frozen blood.
That wouldn't change the fact that it would
It's
turn brown.
frozen blood.
It says, oh. It says Maya upside down.
A yaw.
Whatever.
Oh, yes. That's right.
That's a,
After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been riding on that stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
it certainly looks that way.
Then why would it be upside down?
Hang on just a moment.
Let me look at this thing.
Because
I
of
guess
the way that she was up in
Depending on how tall she is, that might make sense.
What are you all talking about?
What do you mean, what are we all talking about?
We're talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern is clean as a whistle.
Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
And we figured this out way ahead of time, so
Yeah.
congratulations, everybody. So that's what he meant by that.
I thought there was another case where he couldn't see something that was red.
Yeah, it was Maggie's apron, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know the crime scene was dark, and the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? He never learned how to read.
That's good.
What was that laugh, Ark?
Sorry, I thought it was funny.
Mr. Godot?
It was funny.
Okay, then, let's move on.
Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from the caffeine overdose.
I believe it has now been established that Miss Dunim was killed by Maya Fey.
That's just wrong.
Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
Oh, it is past 10 o'clock.
Next time, though?
Yeah, it's probably the
Oh,
best
yeah, it is, huh?
Oops.
Good part.
All right.
I don't. Oh, okay.
Just so I can save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop. I'm having fun.
Me
Yeah,
neither.
we're getting into it.
Two.
We opened with a lot of like picking up clues and breaking Cyclox.
If only we were doing this again this week at some point. When could that
Man.
possibly be?
When could that possibly be?
No.
That's Sunday. That's Sunday.
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 Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
It's a attorney rally.
Yeah.
Well, I've been excited to get back to this, and I'll be excited to do it again this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, In the interest of transparency, if you're watching on YouTube, Great Ace Attorney just came out the other day, and
Yes.
I have it now downloaded on my Switch and ready to go. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we wanted to try and get this game done before it came out, but we just barely missed it.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I remember before we started, I suggested maybe just waiting until Great Ace Attorney because it got announced to be localized like just before we started this game.
Yeah. Well, we
I still
almost
think
made
that-
it.
I still think that finishing the trilogy was the right move because now we can now we can leave this as being a completed thing and we can move on to the next thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Tomorrow's break night. Look forward to it.
But
Which
on
means
Friday-
Demon Souls.
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah,
on
Sabs
Friday, we are
Sabs doesn't know
returning
what
to
break
Trace
means.
Memory after such a long time.
Yeah.
Hell
Yes.
Let's finish that up. Probably.
All right. And with that, good night, everybody.
Good
Bye.
night.
It was.
Can't see red
soup.
soup?
Gravy
Bravely
roast.
roasted.
Oh, gravy soup.
Yeah.
Gravy soup.
All right. Good night.